Welcome to my Capricorn Risings for your February 2023 little mini forecast. I'm going to talk about 4 to maybe little interesting tidbits and themes of the month. And if you don't know your rising sign by chance, you can always send me a message down below and I'll send you your birth chart for free. Now, my Capricorn Risings, you've had an interesting go here since December of your birthdays, because the planet Mercury's been in your sign and did a retrograde, and it's still there right now as I make this video. So definitely communicating stories and the deals and the negotiations and the seriousness and the wordplay has been a major factor of your world the last several months. I just want to get that out of the way. When we start February, on February 5th, we start off with a huge, big full moon that happens in the sign of Leo. And this happens in the area of your world that has to do with, they call the 8th house. This is the place that deals traditionally. Now, I'm using old school stuff here. I'm not saying this is exactly going to happen. This deals with death and taxes and inheritances. That's the old school way, right? But for me, this 8th house actually has to do with intimate matters, and also like shared resources sometimes because of intimate matters. Sometimes it's like the negotiation too with some outside source, like the bank or lawyers, things that you need to have resources created and the people you need to share that with. This also deals with occult matters, the 8th house, but in a way I'll make it more practical for you. Sometimes it deals with a place of like where we fear things, where fears are hidden. And this Leo full moon, a fire sign, exposes that area of your world. And not only that, there's another planet involved here, and it's the planet Uranus. It's currently in a sign, Earth sign Taurus, and Uranus brings an unpredictable vibe to this full moon. It clashes with that Leo full moon, and it brings some unpredictable, unexpected events possibly happening here. So Uranus's role is to uproot things, and it's doing that to that Leo full moon, and doing in that Leo full moon, that expression, that powerful sunlight that Leo brings can actually expose intimate matters, expose scenarios and themes that deal with shared resources, and expose sometimes maybe some of the fears that you might have. And here, something new is coming in. Something is bright is showing itself on those areas of your life. So my serious Capricorn risings, I know you'll make a note of this. And if you catch the light, and if you catch that newness where you feel like you have to express yourself in that area of the 8th house, do it. So when we get to the 11th of February, Mercury, which I mentioned in the beginning of this video, finally leaves your sign and goes into the sign of Aquarius. And it's here where Mercury flows in another way. Aquarius brings an inventiveness, an out-of-the-box way of thinking with Mercury, alternative ways of thinking and communicating, things that are not normal, things that deal with ideas and progressive thought. And this energy and way of communicating actually happens in the part of your world that deals with money and resources. It's called the 2nd house. So there's an influx of a new idea here that has to do with creating resources or ongoing story that you have to do with money issues or money challenges possibly, so on and so forth. You've had a run here since 2020. Because Saturn has been in your money house in Aquarius. It's been in your money house since 2020, and it's going to leave March 7th here real soon, finally. But you've probably had a deeper ongoing story about things that you value and how to create money, and you've probably taken had to shoulder some things and deal with things in a certain way. But I think it's probably been good for the most part. Now, Mercury enters in here and brings a fresh idea in that area, a fresh way of looking at things. So take advantage of this. When we get to the February 18th, that's when the sun moves into the sign of Pisces, the Pisces birthday start, and then within a day, we actually have the new moon happen in the sign of Pisces. And this is interesting because it happens in the area of your chart that deals with your immediate surroundings, connection to siblings. And what I mean immediate surroundings is how you're engaging, not in your home, but just outside your home, in the neighborhood, that kind of thing, and how your brain interacts with that, how your thinking process starts. When I go back to the date about Mercury and Aquarius here, and dealing with your resources, then it's kind of connected to that way of like, oh, a new way of looking at things, But the Pisces new moon brings something emotional here, something emotional to your immediate surroundings, something emotional to your possible sibling relationships. And it's here where there's something new that comes in a creative way. And you can think about it in a more positive Piscean way that deals with something that in a sense has no boundaries, but is connected to wanting to integrate through love and compassion and just basically integrating. So that's what happens there in that part of your chart with the new moon. And lastly, it's within not too long, an hour after that Venus goes into the sign of Aries. This is the big one. This is the big one for you because when Venus, the planet that deals with relationships and money, but how we relate, Venus the feminine, moves into the place that deals with home and family and the past and memories in your chart. And you've already had a story going on here because the planet Jupiter has been there since the beginning of the year. And now here comes Venus in Aries, where Venus, in the way it relates through Aries, Aries, me, core self, me, instincts, get, do. Venus has no filters here. It's wanting to relate through that, and it's happening in your home and family life, or with parents, or with the past and past stories and memories. So this is about you putting yourself, first and foremost in those areas. And sometimes a little bit of this happens. So just pay attention to this transit. It's in a fellow cardinal sign. It's going to definitely affect you. But first and foremost, after what you've been through with communication in the last so many months, I think here you can kind of say things in a different way, especially when it comes to the home and family life and how you're relating, and put yourself first. And that, my Capricorn Risings, is your quick February 2023 little update. If you like what you're hearing, you like what you're seeing, hit the subscribe button. But until next time, I'll see you on the next video.